Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and Brandon freaking Hagel is the heart and soul of the 2021 Chicago Blackhawks. It's just plain and simple. He wasn't in the lineup last game. Look what happened. They lost, and they lost terribly. He's back in the lineup tonight, and it didn't look like it was going well for a very long time, but they won in overtime, and it was another Brandon Hagel overtime winning goal, and again, what a shot. And I'm not saying that I manifested this goal, but I'm also not saying it. I'm recording this video the night of the game like I did last time, but I've also kind of put it off for a few moments because I don't really know how to talk about this game exactly, because it feels like it was the tale of two games. So I didn't know if I was going to come into it starting with the positives and then going with the negatives, start with the negatives, then go to the positives, kind of sandwich it and have some sort of weird hockey bad but also good sandwich. Look, y'all, my brain is going in every different direction after this game, so you're gonna have to bear with me, and we're just gonna try to talk through it, alright? So to make this easiest on myself and have it follow some sort of structure, which there's definitely not going to be very much of that, let's just start from the beginning, which was the lineup. Jeremy Colleton elected to go with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, and we all know how I feel about that. But this time I did understand the thought process, because the last few games we've had an injury on defense in the middle of the game or the beginning of the game, as was the case with Adam Boquist. So they went with 7 defensemen tonight, and Dylan Strome was the healthy scratch at the forward position. I saw a lot of people online being like, why are you scratching Dylan Strome? It's one of the most important games of the season, and you're scratching somebody when we really need offense. And to that, all I have to say is he's looked slow and not very effective lately, so I agreed with the decision. On the other hand, I don't agree with Dylan Strome getting a healthy scratch before Calvin DeHaan, but that's just going to be the tale of this season, I guess, is he's just never going to be healthy scratched at all. And guess what? He might not see the next game because he left this game after the first period with an injury. So I guess you could say Jeremy Colleton was correct to go with 7 defensemen, or you could say that stop trying to put Calvin DeHaan in the lineup when he's clearly injured. He had the hip pointer a few games ago, he missed a game or two, came back, injured the hip again, and now he left this game with a hip injury. Stop trying to force him into the lineup. He is injured. And it's not like he's providing some great defense on the ice while he's out there. He's not. There's no point. Have any of y'all ever played Pokemon? Stick with me here. So you know how sometimes you just get very attached to one of the Pokemon in your party? It may not be the best Pokemon that you have. It may not be the strongest one that you have, but you're just strangely attached to it for some reason, and you keep it in your party and you keep throwing it out in battle, hoping for the best. So then you go into a gym and you have to battle all of these trainers and eventually the gym leader. And you have this Pokemon that you're strangely attached to in that number 1 spot, so it keeps starting every battle. But since it's not the strongest one in your party, it usually faints pretty quickly. And after doing this a bunch of times, you run out of like the max revives and the super potions and all of that. So you can never get it back to full health, but you keep giving it a revive and maybe a potion. So it's not knocked out anymore. It's ready to start the next battle, but it's got a very small health bar left because you've run out of max potions, you run out of max revives. So again, you just keep reviving it, giving it that 1 potion, having that very small health bar, and just throwing it out to start your battle, and you hope for the best. Now, of course, it always gets knocked out and faints, so then you have to rely on the other 5 in your party to finish the battle and hopefully get you through the gym. That, my friends, is Jeremy Colleton's relationship with Calvin DeHaan. He is the random Pokemon that he's attached to in his party, and he keeps throwing him out there even though he's not fully healthy, he's not the strongest option that he's got, but he just keeps using him, which is fine in Pokemon because it's a video game and has no real life consequences. But when it's your job and it's like a real life sport and you're playing with real players' lives, it's not a great idea. So maybe it's time to put the Calvin DeHaan Pokemon back in his Pokeball, put him into the computer, and roll with a stronger 6 party so that you can beat the trainers and defeat the gym. If you've never played Pokemon, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm very sorry. But if you have, it all makes sense now, doesn't it? Anywho, so that is... Anywho, that's how this game started with these lineup decisions. Now that we've barely gotten through that part, we'll transition into the 3 questions I had for this game to talk about how the rest of it went down. Question number 1. Can the Blackhawks clear the front of the net? In Monday night's game, Nashville was getting chance after chance after chance after chance parked right in front of Kevin Lankinen. The defenders were not clearing the Predators out of his face area at all. And, of course, a few of those pucks went in. And like we've discussed before, this has plagued this team for a very long time. So, you know, we can always go into the next game hoping for the best. But no, the first goal of the game that the Predators scored was another one with a guy parked right in front of the goaltender. This time it was Malcolm Subban, and it was just a defensive breakdown the whole way around. They didn't get as many of those chances in this game as they did on Monday, or at least it didn't seem like they did, but the defenders still did not help Malcolm Subban out at all. It is absolutely amazing that the Hawks were able to come back and tie this game and eventually win it in overtime. That would not have happened if Malcolm Subban had an average game. The Blackhawks won 5-4. That means Subban allowed 4 goals, and you couldn't blame him on any of them. That is how the defense looked in this game. Question number 2. Can they make scoring difficult for the Predators? Well, clearly no. They got 4 goals, and each time it wasn't the goaltender's fault because the defense was, I don't know where they were. And 3 of those goals came from terrible Connor Murphy mistakes, which is very uncharacteristic of him this season. But oh my goodness. So I guess now that we're talking about the goals, let's just go through all of the goals that were scored in this game. There's 9 of them, so buckle up. 4 minutes and 14 seconds into the first period, Pius Suter got on the board first. The Blackhawks had the 1-0 lead over the Nashville Predators. That felt good, didn't it? And what a play all around, my goodness. The forwards on the ice were Vinnie Hinostroza, Brandon Hagel, and, of course, Pius Suter. Vinnie was a pain in Roman Josi's butt, caused a turnover, which is very uncharacteristic for Roman Josi. The puck went to Brandon Hagel, he went down the right wing boards, Pius Suter was on the left wing, and just a beautiful pass from Hagel over to Suter, and Suter put it between Juuse Saros's legs. There was a little bit of delay there. I don't know if the goal horn person knew that the puck went in right away because the puck went through Saros's legs, but the puck was in. It was a beautiful play. Credit to all 3 forwards on the ice there. My goodness, what a way to start the game. And then the bus lost its wheels and went flying off the cliff again. 14 minutes and 16 seconds into the first period, Eeli Tolvanen was right in front of Malcolm Subban, like I said. Viktor Arvidsson just walked right around Connor Murphy. Malcolm Subban went left to right to stop the wraparound chance in case he was going to just try to tuck it around the post. Riley Stillman left the front of the net but didn't stop the puck. I don't know what he was doing there. I've been very complimentary of him so far since he's come over, but that was not a good look. And that left Tolvanen all alone in front of Malcolm Subban. It was a perfect pass, a perfect shot right through the legs, and the game was tied 1-1. Just like it was on Monday. You just gotta love when that happens, right? Makes you feel like you're just gonna have a repeat performance. And it definitely looked like that in the second period. 13 minutes and 39 seconds into the second period, Colton Sissons made it 2-1 in favor of Nashville. The Hawks were absolutely just plastered in their own zone for about a minute and a half. They couldn't get the puck out. They couldn't get the puck off of a Pred's stick. They couldn't just get it to their goaltender so Subban could stop the puck and get a whistle. The Predators were just plainly playing with their food there. And then the Hawks did clear it, and Riley Stillman was able to get off of the ice. Nikita Zadorov was not. Connor Murphy got on the ice. And then Colton Sissons just walked right up the middle and sniped it past Subban. And then with 2 seconds left in the second period, Mikael Granlund made it 3-1 Nashville. The Blackhawks had the puck in the offensive zone. Ekholm got the puck. He found Granlund, who was breaking towards the Hawks zone. It was Connor Murphy versus Granlund. And with a nifty little move and 2 seconds on the clock, like I said, he just dragged the puck around Connor Murphy and whoop, right past Malcolm Subban. How did that one make y'all feel? Tell me in the comments. Because for me, it felt like a dagger through the heart. And not a good dagger of the Chelsea variety. The very, very bad, the world is ending, my team sucks, nothing is ever going to go right ever again variety of dagger through the heart. So the Blackhawks head into the third period down 3-1, right? Well, less than a minute into the third period, here comes Luke Kunin, and he made it 4-1 in favor of Nashville. For the second game in a row, Connor Murphy's helmet came off. This time he didn't have to leave the ice because he had enough time to put his helmet back on, except he just kind of forgot how to be a human, and the chin strap was in front of his face, and he just looked all sorts of discombobulated. And in the midst of all that happening, Mikael Granlund had to make him look silly again, came flying down the right wing, and found Luke Kunin all alone with a wide open net on the left side, and it was just a tap-in for Kunin with under a minute gone in the period. So the Blackhawks basically started the third period down 4-1. How did that one make you feel? Yeah, I was pretty sure this game was over at this point. I think I put on Twitter that I had more confidence that the Ice Hogs could tie up a game down by that score instead of the Blackhawks, because I have zero faith in this team at this point, especially against the Predators. But then halfway through the period, 10 minutes and 4 seconds to be precise, Wyatt Kalynuk got his third NHL goal, his third goal of the season. Patrick Kane decided to show up for a moment and got the puck over to Kalynuk, who just stepped it in past Josi. Yeah, let's talk about Patrick Kane for a minute, shall we? These last two games against the Nashville Predators have been the most important games of the season. Where has number 88 been? When the third period started, I needed proof of life from Patrick Kane because I didn't even know if he was out there playing or not. It is absolutely inexcusable, the effort he has put in these last two games. He is the best player on this roster. If he wants this team to get into the postseason, if he wants them to have a chance to secure a playoff spot, he has got to look like he gives a damn. Because right now, it looks like he's already in the offseason. He's just completely given up on his team. And it's probably a real good thing that I am not an NHL head coach, because if I was, that A would be off of his chest so quickly. You are a part of the leadership of this team. You are basically the captain with Jonathan Toews out. You cannot just disappear when your team needs you the most. And then show up for about 2 seconds to set up a goal so you can get an assist and still walk away with points on the board in a game. Yeah, maybe that flies in every other season when you are not the guy, but in the 2020-2021 season for the Chicago Blackhawks, Patrick Kane, you are the leader of this team. And your effort for the last month or so, completely inexcusable. You are making $10.5 million. You're a big reason this team is even fighting for a playoff spot, because it looked like you cared to start the season. And now in crunch time, when the games matter even more and you could actually be playing for something, you look like you couldn't care less. It is absolutely pathetic. And that's what I have to say about number 88. Pathetic. Anywho, Brandon Hagel also got an assist on Wyatt Kalynuk's goal. That was his second point of the night, and his 12th assist of the season. When Kalynuk scored, it had gotten to that point of the game where I was very sure the Blackhawks were going to lose. So he put that one in, and I was happy, because I was very happy for him. I'm glad to see Kalynuk doing well. I always love to see the rookies have success in a season, and as a defenseman, he's just been on fire lately. And of course, he was very good for my Piggies when he was up here in Rockford, so I'm just always happy for the guy when he does something well. And then just over a minute later, Vinnie Hinostroza gets his first goal of the season and puts the Blackhawks within 1 goal of tying the game. That one being assisted by Kirby, Dach, and Nikita Zadorov. And at that point, I was no longer in the yay, happy, my team is scoring goals, I'm so happy for them. Oh no. When that third goal went in for the Blackhawks, the first thing that went through my head was, I hate this team with my whole heart. Because I just knew that they were going to give me hope. They were going to get back into this game, and then they would lose in the most creative and heartbreaking fashion ever. Because I'm a Chicago sports fan. That's just what we're used to. I thought, there's no way the Blackhawks tie this game up. There's absolutely no way that they do this. The Predators are going to win in regulation. They're probably going to get another goal just to take all the wind out of the sails. But again, just over a minute later, Dominik Kubalik, assisted by Pius Suter, his second point of the game. This time, oh, he did not shoot to the center of the net. He did not shoot it directly into Josi chest. This time, he picked his corner, and the game was tied at 4. How did they do this? How did they do this with the game that they were playing up until the 10-minute mark of the third period? How did this team tie this game? I have no idea. I cannot tell you. I do not have the answers. I don't know. I was convinced that they weren't going to. I am very happy when they proved me wrong, of course. But then I was just even more angry and more convinced that they were going to allow a horrible goal to the Nashville Predators to really get our hopes up, tie the game, be like, oh, maybe we're gonna win this one, and then leave us all completely defeated, like, why would you do this to us? Why would you put us into so much pain? And you know, of course you know that that didn't happen in this game, because I already said that they won. If you were watching, you knew that they won. But that's kind of how I feel about this season. When they lost that first game in the last series to Detroit, I said that if they lost that game, they weren't going to make the playoffs. I still stand by it, but they just keep finding a way to keep themselves in the fight, and it's still possible, mathematically, that they could take that 4th spot in the Central. They just keep us hanging on and keep that little piece of hope in our brains so that they can completely destroy it and make us feel terrible when it doesn't go the right way. Now, they lost that Monday night game to Nashville. It looked very much like they were going to lose to Nashville again tonight, the team that they very much need to beat. And if they had lost this one, it was definitely over. There's no coming back from that, especially with Dallas having games in hand. But they won. And so even though that I still believe personally that they will not make the playoffs, and I think a lot of other Hawks fans could tell you they don't think that this team is going to make the playoffs. It is still mathematically possible, and so they just keep that little bit of hope in our brains because we've seen them time and time again do the impossible. But this is a completely different team. And yet, like tonight, they keep doing the impossible and keep us holding on. At some point, it would just feel better to know that they were out so you could watch the game, find the positives, pick and choose, so you can see like which guys you want to see on the team next year, which guys you would be fine with seeing leave in the off season. Then it doesn't become watching the game and really hoping that the Hawks win because they really need to win these games. It doesn't become a matter of wins and losses. It becomes what are they doing right and what are they doing wrong. But even though the majority of us don't think that they are going to make the postseason, that's just not how it goes because we are sports fans. This is our team, and there is a chance for them to make the playoffs, and we just want that more than anything because all we want is to see our team succeed. So here we are. We're still hanging on with hope. They do it to us time and time again, and how can you just not want that success? If you've been around for the past decade of Blackhawks hockey, you know the amazing feeling when they raise that cup. And now I'm getting very emotional about it. But even though they're not going to win the cup this year, seeing this team celebrate on the ice like they did after winning in overtime tonight, that is what we live for as sports fans. That is why we're here. That is why I'm getting emotional talking about my team doing well. Because at the end of the day, that's all we want. And that's why it's so easy to be hard on them in these games because these are must-win games, and when they put in an effort like we saw on Monday, and like they put in an effort like we saw until the 10-minute mark of the third period tonight, it just hurts so bad because you know that they are so much better than that, and you know that when it comes to must-win games, they have the talent on this roster to win them. So when they just don't show up, it feels like a big kick in the gut. I expected this to transition from very happy to very angry and then maybe very happy again. I did not expect to get emotional, but that's just what happens when I talk about my team, I guess. So anyway, that was the goal that made it 4-4, and that is how regulation ended, 4-4, and they went to overtime. And you know what really sucks? Seeing your team lose in overtime. I had my remote within reach because I could not, for my sanity, watch Nashville celebrating on the ice had they put the puck in the back of the net. If they did it, I was ready to just grab it and switch off my TV in under a second. But I did not have to do that. Instead of doing that, I nearly threw my shoulder out celebrating when Brandon friggin' Hagel put the puck in the back of the net behind Juuse Saros, behind the goaltender that the Blackhawks have had one hell of a time scoring on this season. And let's be real, the goaltender that a lot of teams in this division have had one hell of a time scoring on this season. He is having an amazing year. But 3 minutes exactly into overtime, the heart, the soul of the 2021 Chicago Blackhawks showed up. It was Kirby, Dach to Vinnie, Hinostroza to Brandon Hagel. He took the puck for a skate. He saw the open shot. He saw Juuse Saros go down early. He saw that corner open, and he just flipped it over his shoulder. And wow, just wow. This team actually won that game in overtime. And again, not saying I manifested that goal, but also not saying it. And then there was the celebration. How can you just not be filled with happiness when you see Hagel on the ice? It seems like he's either always smiling, always laughing in some guy's face after roughing him up, or having the celebration of the year after scoring a very important goal. Here's the fun thing about being an AHL fan. I got to watch him all last year playing with the Rockford Ice Hogs, and I said, wow, this kid is very good. He has got some wheels on him, and wow, he's got a scoring touch too. That is amazing. How did we get this guy? Sorry, Buffalo, you should have signed him, but I'm real glad you didn't. So then people ask how Blackhawks prospects are doing. I point out one or two that I really think are doing well with the Ice Hogs, ones that I think would make an impact for the Blackhawks, and Brandon Hagel was one of those guys. So flash forward to this year, and he gets inserted into the lineup, I think maybe the second game of the season, second or third, it was very early on, and he hasn't left because every night that the Blackhawks play, he is one of, if not the best player out there on the ice. Going back to the fun part of being an AHL fan, seeing his game progress last year, thinking he would be an impact player for the Blackhawks, and then seeing him actually come in this year and do it, I feel like a proud mom. Maybe that's weird to say, or maybe you're also an AHL fan and you feel like a proud parent as well when you see the rookies come up and be impact players for their NHL team. But that's just the feeling I get when I see my rookies do well. And oh my goodness, he has proven me very right. He's proven me more than right, and it just makes you feel good. And I'm just so happy for him. And he gets better every game. The beginning of the year, he was doing everything but scoring, and we were basically on Brandon Hagel Go Watch here on this channel. We're like, is he gonna get it this game? Is he gonna get it? And then he finally got it, and then went through another stretch of not being able to score, but I kept telling people, once he gets that first one, and then once he gets that second one, since there was another stretch of not scoring, the points are going to start rolling in for him. Because he has a good shot, he doesn't have hands of stone like some people do. They're just all speed, but they can't do anything when it comes to shooting the puck or moving the puck or anything like that. He's just a solid player all around, and I very much like being right. But I can't take the credit for that because it's all on him and his hard work, so good on you, Brandon. We are very happy to have you, and that's why I pulled out this jersey again for this video. So wow, that was tonight's game. It was clearly an emotional roller coaster, but for a good majority of it, it was a horrible game. Connor Murphy had his worst game of the season. I didn't even know Nikita Zadorov was playing until the third period. They were just plain outworked. And again, kind of much like last game, they had pace to their game, which is so frustrating because it's not like they're slow and it's just not their night skating through mud. There was pace to their game, but that was about it. And they weren't getting second chances. They didn't have players in front of the net, and they were not helping out Subban at all. And we already talked about Patrick Kane, but circling back around to that, you need to be better. Again, inexcusable performances from Patrick Kane these last few games. So while I really don't want to put this game behind us because they won it and their next game is also against Nashville on Friday night, let's move on to talking about that game. Here are my questions. Question 1, can the Blackhawks defend the center of the ice? We kind of went over this already, but Nashville had way too many chances just going straight up the middle and being basically one-on-one with the goaltender. Your goalie's going to make a lot of saves, and Malcolm Subban made a lot of saves tonight, but they can't save everything because your opponents, they are also professional hockey players. They are very good at what they do. They can score goals. It's Subban's job to stop them, but that's why you have goal scorers, because they can score on the goaltenders. It's not a science, guys. So this defense group needs to shut down the center of the ice, and I very purposefully worded this, can they? Because I don't know if they have the ability to do so. So we'll see what they look like in the next one. Question 2. Can the Blackhawks turn up the physicality and be harder to play against? We all know this is not the Blackhawks style of playing, but it is going to have to be because they are way too easy to play against. Although, fun fact, they out-hit Nashville on Monday, so there's that. But even when they are out-hitting a team or just getting hits during a game, they're not really bruising guys. And of course I don't want them out there headhunting or trying to injure guys, but they need to throw their body around more and just be plain harder to play against. But no more of those hits like Duncan Keith had on, I think, Matt Duchene in the last game, where he was just very vulnerable in front of the boards and he cross-checked him face first into the boards. None of that. But my God, they cannot be like playing against tissue paper out there. The Preds are a hard team. They play playoff hockey. The Blackhawks need to elevate their game and also do so. That is why you have a Riley Stillman in your lineup. That is why you have a Nikita Zadorov in your lineup. They have to use their bodies. Question 3. Can they get to the front of the net and make the goalie's life hard? It is so frustrating watching time and time again the Blackhawks opponent, most specifically Nashville, these past 2 games, park right in front of their goaltender and get chance after chance after chance after chance, and then the Blackhawks go down into the offensive zone and it's just one and done. Nobody's screening the goaltender, nobody getting second chances, nobody whacking and rebounds, nothing, because they're not in front of the goaltender. We relived a lot from tonight's game, but let's just go back to after Dominik Kubalik scored the game-tying goal. The Blackhawks had a 4-minute power play immediately following that. They got 0 shots on goal. That's right, 0. Clearly, they are not making the goaltender's life hard. They just need to be better. So those are my 3 questions for Friday night's game, but looking at my notes again, much like in the last game, I forgot to answer the 3rd question that I had for tonight's game. I just got very wrapped up in the goals that were scored, okay? Question number 3 was, do we see Nicholas Beaudin and Ian Mitchell back in the lineup? Nope, Blackhawks dressed 7 defensemen, but that 7th defenseman was just Nikita Zadorov coming back into the lineup, and Wyatt Kalynuk was not out with injury. He left the last game injured. He was able to come back tonight. Obviously, he scored a goal, so I am very glad that his injury did not keep him out of the lineup long term, but my God, they need to get one of Beaudin or Mitchell back into a game. You know that good old random Pokemon, going back to that one? Clearly Dach is injured. Sit him. Stop trying to force him into the lineup. It's just not good for the team. Play one of the kids. They are not going to make any more mistakes than what you would see from number 44 or any other veteran defenseman. Play the kids. So this is a very long video. I told you I had a lot of thoughts. That's why I put off recording this for a little bit after the game ended. I didn't know what was going to come out. I really didn't expect to get emotional, but here we are, because as much as I say that I hate this team, I don't. Clearly. I wish I did. That would probably make my life a lot harder. It would be very hard to talk about them after every single game, but it might be easier on the brain and on the heart. But when they win, it just makes my heart grow 3 sizes like I'm the Grinch. Anywho, if you are still here at this point in the video, thank you so much for watching this mess, whatever this was. Although I don't think it was as much of a mess as tonight's game was. Or as that 4-minute power play was, to be more specific. But anywho, if you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, head on over to FromCenterIce.com. You can find links to all the places where you can find us. If you're more of a social media person, you can follow us on all of the platforms. I have the links for all of those in the description down below. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into this madness. I think we might have gone through every emotion here, so thanks for being in this with me. I have no idea what to expect on Friday. Please let me know what you think is going to happen, and once again, do you think the Blackhawks are going to make the playoffs? Put all of that in the comments. All of that being said, get some sleep tonight, get some rest tomorrow, because there's a big freaking game on Friday, and I will catch you all after that one. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or two. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!